The last time the United States placed tariffs on goods, it sparked quite a bit of political and economic unrest. What are we in store for this time? And do we learn anything from the last time, or is this play completely different? Let's dive in and get a better understanding of how these tariffs are going to affect your country and how they're going to affect your wallet. Hi, my name is Brian, and we deliver daily updates about the things that affect you most when we talk about your wallet, politics, governments, and other things that we need to have a deeper look at. And I deliver these things, try to make it fun, and by the same time, make sure that we're delivering things that matter most to you and people like us inside this community. So let's face it, the global markets are spooked. Wall Street has lost $6 trillion so far because we've seen a precipitous drop, and some of these markets are now hitting bear market territory. And nobody likes the idea of a bear market because it means you've lost your profits and you're now losing some of your principal, depending on when you put your money to work in the market. That's something to pay close attention to. But we've been here before, and history really does help us quite a bit when we try to get a better understanding of what's going on in these markets. For instance, in 2018 and 2019, the US imposed tariffs on billions in Chinese imports. What followed was a slowdown in global trade, rising costs for American manufacturers, and retaliatory tariffs. Does that sound new? Even Trump's own advisors admitted back then that tariffs hurt us more than we thought they would. And this is part of maybe what's being digested right now on Wall Street, let alone at Americans' dinner tables. So I've got to give the Trump administration a little bit of credit because he has ardent supporters around him that are extremely capable people. Howard Lutnick, Secretary of Commerce, really has gone out and battled for the Trump administration's tariff policies. He's faced additional scrutiny about the policies and business disruptions. So this takes everything a little bit deeper because it's not just rhetoric anymore, it's affecting people in their wallet. Remember, Lutnick's job is to sell Trump tariffs to the American people and to business leaders and lobby support for these devices that are really seen as disruptive to our economy. Remember, at the end of the day, most people vote with their wallet. Now, the Wall Street Journal is reporting that some of those same things that were affecting the economy back in 2018 and 2019 are hitting us right now. These dynamics could be rather nefarious and could have some really powerful impacts on the bottom line of Americans, not just in their stock portfolios, but at their places of work, and yes, folks, even at the dinner table. What's happening now? Well, Republican leadership is really supporting the president right now, and I do think it's a fragile support because all these congressmen have to go back home and face their constituents. So, businesses that are affected by the tariff, you can guarantee those congressmen are going to get a finger shaken at, if not lose political support and political donations that really keep them in office. Some are pushing harder for the reciprocal tariffs that we're seeing popping up right now. Others say, let's be protective of American businesses. The president and the president alone has a plan that's going to work. We just need to give it time. The stock market, remember, has lost about $6 trillion because the stock market does not like political or economic uncertainty. They say repeating some of the same mistakes of the past really could have some significant impacts on every single American and a bigger impact on the global economy. So, what does this all mean to you? Tariffs are ramping up again, but we can expect higher prices on goods made overseas, electronics, appliances, and clothing. U.S. companies that rely on imports may pass the cost on to you. Think of places like Walmart, think of places like Costco, think of places like Target. US companies really are feeling a pinch, particularly in the retail sector. And I want to remind you that if US trading partners look at us and they decide to retaliate, American exports could get hit, especially in agriculture and manufacturing. And remember, one of the big things that we're trying to do is bring manufacturing back to the United States and make sure that lower middle class and middle class people have good jobs to take care of their families. Let's make sure that whatever we're doing with these tariffs really does have a bottom line impact on the Americans, common person, the people on Main Street. I'll remind you that this isn't just policy, this really is your paycheck. This is your pension. This is the college savings accounts and maybe the hopes and aspirations of Americans and living the American dream. We want to make sure that this is really going to work. And whether we double down and support the president's policies or we pivot through this and decide that maybe some of these things were just negotiation tools, it's hard to say. And if you have a thought about this, a comment, please leave it below because your thoughts really do matter. You're part of a community, and this community thrives on your interaction and your thoughts about how this is really playing out. So, a couple of additional thoughts here. We've seen this movie before, and we know how it ends when trades get weaponized. So, the question is, are we protecting American jobs? Are we creating new American jobs? Or lighting the fuse under the global economy again? Drop a comment with your take, and don't forget to subscribe. This isn't over. I'd say it's just beginning.